Okay, hello everyone. This night will be a bit different than the usual nights we have had, as I won't be playing, but my lovely fiancée here will be playing.
Yeah, things happened. So my name is Dayah and this is Aarnimetsa. We are from PokerStars, and this is the first stream we had when I'm playing poker and Aarnimetsa is with me and he's doing the commenting part and I'm freaking out. So by all means, this is not an official coaching in a sense we have had before, but we'll see how this will go and go from there on. And tonight I thought that it could be good to have some 50-50s and see how the games are going there tonight. And there's some background noise. Let me see, or if Arnie can do something about it. Are our voices otherwise okay, or are they in a balance? So yeah, because today we are on my computer, not on Aarnimetsa, so we had to do some additional settings for it, and it's good to have some feedback that what's working and if there's something to be done.
I'll actually go check it out on the other side, so you can start already and I'll see if I can do something there.
Okay. So let's start. Aarnimetsa will try to take care of the additional sounds that shouldn't be there. And I'm starting a couple of 50-50s on PokerStars. And I truly hope I will get all the tables where they should go, because it's kind of an experience to say the least. I'm starting with 4 tables and they are almost there. So just a low buy-ins this time. I don't want to freak out on live stream, to be quite honest. And I think the idea will be quite visible on these as well. Of course, the play can be a bit more aggressive than on our higher levels, but we don't mind that. We can be aggressive as well. And you can chat with us on our own chat on PokerStars.com/forum or on our Twitch chat. I'm following that as well. So any questions are more than welcomed. And I'm actually in a bit of a trouble, since it's been a while since I played these last time, so my HUD is not quite there. Actually, in the 50-50s, it's the most complicated format to get your HUD in control, because there are 10 people on every table, and if you had only 9 players, that's the most usual case, then it's somewhat complicated. Chase. And yeah, I should have tried this before, that where my HUD pieces should go. But the main thing is that I should be finding and seeing my own cards as well as the bet size. Lock and save layout. And then the next hand should be corrected. And while the games go on, I will remove or replace those to another position to be able to see as well as possible. Stand up and walk away. Yeah, see my cards, it's somewhat irrelevant. Yeah, there is a case that some players did, I think at least Anecdotes once played with covering all her whole cards, and then she recorded that and it was quite a fuss. But tonight I'm not willing to do that for you guys. I prefer to see my cards, to be quite honest. And on top table there is some aggression going on with the completely unknown players. Not quite really happy about it, since my kicker is so low. But there's so many players.
Okay, I'm back. Has anything interesting happened here?
I'm in trouble with my HUD. I had to remove or try to find the correct places for it, since last time I have played was 9 max hypers, I guess. So I hope to see my cards, it's a start, and everything else is a plus.
If I suggest something that you'll put the last pots to the middle and start creating the HUD from there on, you don't want to block the table, because I think then it obstructs the bet sizes a bit, and I think that's a source of multiple possible mistakes.
That's true. I'm trying to find good places, but to be quite honest, I don't remember anymore the correct spots. I have had those previously, but
there are no correct spots, there are just
better and worse. Yeah, I can't call this anymore. I'm pretty sure there's like 2 pairs with someone, even though it wouldn't make any sense. And if there's a flush draw, nah, just quite unbelievable.
Well, they were like with the nut flush draw and the second nut flush draw.
I have to admit that wasn't quite what I expected.
You would have had something like close to 80% there, because they were blocking so many of their own outs. But I would believe so that there is like at least one player with a set.
Yeah, set or like 2 pairs or something that like I can't be in any good position at that point when there is so.
This one in the middle.
This one in the middle, like here.
It's okay, yeah. Then you have a bit more space to where to put the rest of those. And then try to save it and try to see how it looks. And
actually, I can move this a bit too.
Always more changes. And
lock and save layout. Yes, please. And now we just wait for it to happen for all the other tables as well.
But I remember I had this problem also with my Session Lord coaching last week, when I hadn't played 50-50s in a while.
Yeah, definitely. Danita is asking if these are the games I usually play. Actually, no, they are not. I used to play these a ton some time ago, and I played only these for a long, long period. But for now, I usually play hypers. But I hope I'll have something on back of my head to be able to do even slightly profitable moves here.
I think you should be profitable in these low stakes 50-50s for sure. I wouldn't worry
Yeah.
about that. And usually it's going to be like, I'm seeing that you are stressing out here, but it's always like when you are doing it the first time around, and even when you have done it for a while, you are going to miss more when you are speaking up and you are holding a session than what you are. Like, I think that at least for like 10 first sessions you are doing way worse than you know how to play, because there's so much extra stuff that you need to concern yourself with.
Yeah. This is definitely the first time I'm doing this in this kind of a way. We had a special, actually, we have had two specials with me and my female friends, but they were completely in a different way organized. The first one was in Finnish with Marix. She was playing some twisters on coral poker, and we were chatting and drinking bubbly wine. And it wasn't that serious. And to be quite honest, the next time wasn't serious at all, because we were playing spin and goes with my game on our forum. It was in Finnish as well. Sure, we were playing like properly, but we had some shots every once in a while. When we lost quite a few games. So it wasn't that stressful in a way. But now I'm sure I will play quite differently or stupidly or something that I would normally do. And I might be telling you something and doing completely the opposite, since my brains can be quite shattered.
Yeah, and it's really hard when you are playing multiple tables at a time and you are doing something and you are like folding on some table and then you are explaining on how you have raised on another table.
Kalan is asking about that ace 10 suited. Uh, I preferred limping, since I didn't want to really raise the pot so much, because in these games it's more than likely that there is going to be multi-way pots, and with the ace with low kicker, well, I consider that quite low. I don't want to get in trouble that I get into a position when I'm not sure whether I should fold or call. Completely new player. If there had been a bit smaller raise, I probably would have just shoved everything. But
I'm thinking on that spot that especially because the raise was bigger, like when someone raises for 3x at this level, I'm usually thinking that they are probably not going to be that well informed players, even when he's betting it from the small blind where people usually raise a bit bigger because they're going to be out of position. But still, I think that when he raised a bit bigger, then it makes it more enticing to go for a shove.
yeah, I think I crushed the common limp call ranges with ace-10 suited for sure. But it might be that I'm a bit too cautious at the moment.
It's also in a way in these games that when people are so apt playing like in these lower stake games, and people are so apt to pay off big when you are hitting on the flop, so it also entices you into playing a bit more safely. And I'd say exactly opposite than Kauris. Usually Calleon's comments are awesome. So keep it up, mate.
Yeah, don't shut up. You can ask hard questions and I'm just in a trouble then, but it's my fault. I put myself in this position, so go ahead. Ask anything, and if I'm just completely in panic, then Aarnimetsa will push the panic button and the screen will go blank. So if that happens, see you next week. I have reserved that option for me.
Should we create the red panic button here that like you'll open it a bit like there are in every movie there is like the button that you are pressing when you are commencing a nuclear strike where you first need to open the hatch and then you can smash it down.
Yeah, and then we need the blinking lights to go with it. Absolutely.
But like first when you are having the first sign of panic, then you are just flipping the switch open and the blinking lights will come on, and so then everybody will know that now it's required to use silk gloves.
Yeah. Like if you want to keep on watching the stream, just be gentle. Yeah, I perhaps need the panic button since it's quite a different feeling, I can tell you. Like I've been a live stream few times with Aarnimetsa, but then when I'm not in control, I can just walk away anytime and he's playing the games. And I'm not the one under big scrutiny. It's completely different to just sit there and relax. So
yeah, I'm like completely relaxed here.
How does that feel?
It's surprisingly liberating.
Well, good for you. Yeah, I do have coffee actually. I hope that my voice will last till the end.
And I'd have to ask that, is the voice now better?
And thanks, Dutch, from the Twitch. I try to enjoy. I don't know if I'm starting to panic and cry or be happy and cry or what next, but I'll try to enjoy the ride. Oh, King Jack suited. Sweet pot to reshove or something, but no option. Actually, I think I'm just too afraid to even drink my coffee because I'm afraid I'm going to just burst it out on the screen or something quite stupid. Okay.
Okay, now we are on the second stage of these 50-50s and there have been antes in play. So how do we change our game when antes come on?
I said something about being aggressive, and now it's the time when you should start if you haven't done it already. So when the antes come into play, there's more to win per one round. So it's way better to start stealing pots if you can. Try to be aggressive, win big pots, because now it's well, you'll get more chips, you'll get more money in a sense. And now I'm just trying to figure out if these players know what they are doing or not. Actually, I would like to call this, but then there is always a chance that he will shove, but he's that kind of player that he probably just calls. So let's chime in. Jack 10 suited it's such a good hand. It flops usually quite well. And then after a flop, you'll know pretty much where you are. And when there's already one in and there's no side pot, I don't see any value really in trying to steal that or flop the pot. I don't know. What do you think? If he's like a player,
I think that was well played. I don't think that like there is that much value in shoving, because when we are shoving with Jack 10 suited, usually we want to have plenty of fold equity. And because the guy had more than a big blind, we don't have any fold equity, and we know it for sure. Like, we need to beat the other player anyway. So I think that flat calling is pretty much optimal play there when there is not a three betting machine behind us.
yeah, Callan, you have no idea anymore. You don't remember how it feels like since you are old school coach already. Here I will just shove. I have approximately 10 big blinds.
Plenty of money in on the antes as well.
True. And it's a good spot. Let's hope for the I was hoping for the A spot. Oh well. Good call with eights. Pocket eights. Not bad there. If I had like 12 to 15 big blinds, I probably would have just shoved pre, but now I'm just trying to get someone else to pet something since I just hit the monsters at the point. I think something will happen anyway, and if I just raise here or bet here on the flop, I will just scare everybody else away. Of course, there's a chance that there will be third heart, but let's not be that scared.
I don't even think that you should be that scared of just a third heart. Or two limpers already, so there's not that big of a difference. And when you are the second player to act, I think it's like, I think the checking is better, but there is not that much difference between checking and.
Actually, now since there's two draws, flush draws, I don't want to give a possibility for him to draw extra card. Even though it might be scary for him, but now I have a nice sized pot for the river. And there was a flush draw. But at least he got some equity on the river to call. Otherwise, if we had been more aggressive, I don't know if maybe.
And this is like my previous version of the HUDs. So if you remember my previous HUDs, it's going to be, the first one is going to be aggression frequency, second one is fold flop to bet, the third one, the light green one, it's going to be the fold big blind to steal, then the light red one is going to be steal from cutoff, red is going to be steal from button, and orange is going to be steal from small blind.
So these stats are basically good for realizing how often the opponents are using their steal spots and how they react for other people's stealing.
And there are some questions.
How about re-raising with trips on flop? That could have been one option, but then in that case, I think there was too big of a chance that it would have scared the other guy away from the pot.
Yeah, I think that check raising is usually going to be quite scary. Quite scary on multiple opponents, especially with such a polarizing flop in a way, because there is such a high chance that our opponent has only overcards on that kind of a board.
Yeah, basically, if he would have had a good flush draw or over pair, then it would have been insta call from him. But otherwise, I think it was more value to be get by being a bit more less scary with my actions.
More sneaky, less scary.
Yeah, exactly. More sneaky, less scary. Yeah. Now this is the pot. I don't want to scare him away. But if he pots or bets this much, I think he's pot committed. So I could just call or shove. Pretty sure he's going to call anyway. And there we had him. If he would have bet only like half a pot or something, probably would have just called.
And that's the first win for today.
Indeed. And I think it was 350. Let's take the next one that opens. I probably should have talked about the bubble situation there, but I kind of forgot about it.
But it was like one hand of bubble and aces, so when you have aces, you generally aren't that afraid of the bubble situation. There's not much to talk about. Like in 50-50s, do you think that there are situations where you would need to fold aces?
There could be, sure, but it's very, very rare situation.
I don't think that against one player we would ever fold aces in 50-50s.
Not one player.
But against 2 or 3 people on the bubble, I think that there might be situations if we are having the smallest stack that we would need to fold aces.
I agree.
And we could have a small poll here that do you have problems with the stream or is everything working all right?
And previously, when there's been some lacking on Twitch's part, it could be useful to try to use the pop-out option there. It's a bit more better for your computer anyways. So give it a try if the stream is lacking for some reason. It might help your situation.
I'll be back.
Good. And actually here we are in a bit of a trouble. We are on a bubble and we are the smallest stack. So basically we are afraid of everything. And we can't really stall because we are going to be anyway the first one going all in. But we can try to gain some better situations, not really folding equity, no, but we can hit something and then just be lucky. But otherwise, when there's already that much of our chips on a pot and we have not many, we had like 2 big blinds plus the big blind already on the table. I didn't see any point holding there because the next time there would have been small blind for us and we would have been in even worse situation because there could have been more players going all in, and now it was only heads up pot, which was actually the best scenario on our part. Well, of course, we could have had aces or something a bit sweeter hand, but you can't really get everything you want. Cullen says it's working great on pop-up. That's good. Oh no, we hit the kings. Well, tough luck. Sometimes it happens, but we had to try. I don't really know what's going on here, since there is a regular player I've marked some time ago opening like a way too big of a bet. No idea why. It smells nuts or just something really weird. I don't want to fold, I don't want to re-raise, I just call. Trying to be really cautious with that pot. And now the registration. Now it looks better. It's not really good, but it's better. It looks, of course, good since we hit the set, but since there is 2 flush draws and a possibility for a straight and like multiple straight draws, had to try something. Perhaps he had a small pocket pair. It was a misclick or something really strange. I don't really get why he bet like 4x pre-flop on UTG. If you're having a really small stack and someone will be all in next hand, would it be a fold anything situation? It could be. It's not really straightforward, but it really could be, because here you really have to pay attention when the bubble is coming. And since the half of the prize pool is divided by the players who made through the bubble, which means the top 5 players, and half of the prize pool is divided by the amount of stack you have. So basically, the more stack you have when the game finishes, the more money you will get. So in that sense, it's more strict bubble situation than on, for example, on 9max hypers or something like that. But in a way, you really need to pay attention on your stack size, since if you always go through the bubble but you never have a big stack, only like a few hundred chips or something, it's not profitable after the rake. So there are some nasty situations for sure coming up, and there has been. And I think there are some really good 50-50s hand spots on our hand analysis area on the forum. So if you really like to twist your brain, go take a look at those. And if you're not sure how to play your own hands, please post your own nasty situations there and we will help you. And Aarnimetsa said that if you're having problems with our stream at the moment, go run speed test and send results for him as a private message. And he will see what's going on there, if there's something to help with or is it out of our hands. because sometimes there's nothing we can do about it. We have done everything we can on our part. But if there is anything we can help you with, we will for sure try it. Now we have to move this a little bit to see the stack sizes. Ace jack off, and then there is a nasty 3-bet. There is no reason for me to get involved in there. His range will for sure beat my hand there, so I don't want to get in a trouble in that spot. We have betted. We keep on betting with our 2 pairs. Hope to win the pot with nice chips, and let's hope there isn't a better hand. It's a bit nasty situation. There could be better hand, like for sure, but in a way there is no way I could get rid of mine. Yeah, he got his straight on the river, but that happens sometimes. No can do. Neo asked with tens, if the guy would have opened up even bigger, is there a limit you are willing to flat there or fold shove? Yeah, if he would have betted like 200 on a 15-30 levels, I would have probably just folded. There is no need to be too cautious, but in that spot you are most likely to see picker pair, since some of the really bad players do that. They want to create a big pot when they have a good hand, and you will see it. And then again, if there is something something like ace king, ace queen, there wouldn't be a reason for creating that big of a pot. And on the flop we know for sure that what's our situation there. King jack. I just hate my life right now. If there's a 9, I probably said I shouldn't be too scared, but I don't see I would call there with a better hand when he's shoving. I could be, but not likely, in my opinion. Not in these games. Or if there was a better hand, then well played. But if there is a straight missing a 9 and probably even other good options he could have that beats my hand. What do you think? I have suited ace here. Even though the andes are not in play yet, I just prefer to shove less than 10 big blinds and hoping there isn't a better ace or something behind me. Stream is working fine, maybe some lag some time. There's some lag sometime on Twitch, and there isn't always something we can do about it, but let's hope it gets better. Pop-out works fine for Kauris, that's good to hear. Oh, Colin said that background noise came back. I wonder what happened there, because I don't see or hear any difference, and nothing probably changed here. Old steam-powered train. That is strange. So it's the same voice that was in the beginning, but now it came back even though it disappeared. Correct? Cullen says, I would always shove turning ace jack hand in bottom left. Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. I probably should have shoved that. I was just too concentrating on calling and talking about something else. That's definitely a miss on my part. Should have shoved before other extra nasty card. So another good comment from Callian. Thank you. Yeah, I'm for sure doing some weird stuff now, because now when I heard it someone else saying that, yeah, shove, it's like, yeah, sure, of course, why not? Why didn't I do that? I'm just trying to, oh wow! This is the first time on this set. There's a pre-flop shove all in, and I have aces on the big blind. Wonder what I should do. Oh dear. Let's just hope that there is some kings or queens coming up earlier. Damn. Hold. Yay. Nice double up. Definitely not the optimal play here. Definitely not. Even though there was this time someone to call with aces. That's really, really rare that there is, and you will get more value out of people if you just raise normally, or even normalish at that point, and create a bigger pot during the streets than just pre-shot, because most often you will just get the blinds 15 and 30, and you will definitely want to get more value out of your good hands. Quite insane, but once again, you will see those every once in a while. The background noise gets way louder when you don't speak. That's weird. So I should just go on and speak all the time. Now it gets pressured. Here there is a raise, easy shove. I have 10 times the amount of the bet here. Just all in, and let's keep it simple. Actually, the problem could be the mic, because I don't have a separate one at the moment. It's on my laptop's mic that's in use, and it's not in a perfect quality, to say the least. So that's definitely something I need to think about, that if I keep on doing streaming more, maybe, who knows, then I need to pay attention to that as well. But since this is the first this kind of a stream, it's good to have feedback from you guys to know what to improve for the next time if it comes up.
It's actually that microphone that's in use.
Oh, okay.
So it's on the webcam's microphone that's normally not getting used.
So it's not. There shouldn't be a shopper above our house. We live in Tallinn, so there could be some military activity for sure. But I don't hear anything myself, and normally when there is a plane going above, we will hear it, and there hasn't been that kind of a sound for some time, so everything should be okay in that part. Train passing by. There's no trains or something like that. No public transportation system next to our house.
Yeah, I heard it once or twice when I was checking where it might be coming, but
this is just so weird. Why would you shove here? And why wouldn't I call?
it doesn't make any sense with pocket jacks.
It doesn't make any sense. And that's a bit similar spot than earlier with the kings. Like there isn't any point to do that, and people still does that. You shouldn't be afraid of the game with jacks in that spot. You should bet for sure, but not shove, like over shove. I was lucky, I have to admit.
But we can't blame him. Pocket jacks is an impossible hand to play correctly, so.
That's true. Actually, I think I'm really bad with the PokerStars chat at the moment. There must be like so many comments I haven't been able to read, or they have just went by without me commenting on them. I'm so sorry about that. There's just too many things going on. Yeah, I couldn't just fold there. Not any day. Danitas is saying about the king 8 off in cutoff. Yeah, that was a bit of a borderline situation, but maybe there I thought that it could be a better option to be a bit more aggressive than passive, to be able to gain more chips when the bubble is coming.
Usually in these kind of games, it's like if you're having a big stack, you're going to have a nice time on the bubble. And if you're not having a big stack, you're not having a nice time on the bubble.
Yeah, and I like to have a nice time on the bubble, and it requires some interesting spots every once in a while.
It's funny in a way. Like you don't have any of those really bad situations if you're having a big stack or if you're having a small stack. Like you can use either one to your advantage. But usually if you're having a middle stack and you are approaching the bubble in a 50-50, usually you are going to have.
And here we have a bubble. It's a borderline situation. I could have If I had even a little bit better hand, I could just shove since there is some min stacks here, but since it's a $1.50 game, I'm afraid they are not too smart to fold every single hand they should at that point. So that's why I took a bit different way.
And also because this is a 1.5, I don't think that they're going to be so aggressive in playing back at you.
That's another good point. For sure they would be more scared money there, even though it's a low level, but maybe because it's a low level game. And now we have a okay-ish amount of stack here, and the bubble is going to burst right now. Let's see if we can get the chips and register to a next one.
You could actually not register to a next one, but play these through. So we could try something else with regards of the microphone and see if we can improve the situation with the choppers and steam trains.
And as you saw, I already got into one, so I was a bit too fast for this time, but if there's going to be fast action, we will just finish these and we'll see if we can improve the situation. Without him, I would have shoved, but I don't see a point to do anything there anymore. Too many players after me.
It's going to be an interesting bubble situation forming on the lower left-hand table, since you are having 3 players with small stacks, and only one of you can get in the money.
Yeah, I don't really like it. As you can see, I'm one of the smaller ones here, so I need to be aware where my stack size stands there. If he was the only one I could call, but there is another one who can be really aggressive before after me. Don't really like the spot. Thought that it could be a nice spot to gain some extra chips, but
That's also one of the good points why you can also gain advantage by having a smaller stack. Because in that kind of situation, the opponent got a lot more fold equity against you than he would have gotten with a similar stack normally, because you needed to be afraid of also the stack size behind you, not only his stack size.
true. What did he have? Yeah, maybe he would have called more. I don't know. Since there was only I don't know.
I think with his exact hand he is going to call more, but I think that with your bet sizing you are going to, if we are thinking on his whole range, that he can call with some one paired hands as well, or
And now Danita can't hear any background noises anymore. That's good. Kauris is hearing one, but if you're referring to my lovely fiancé, shh. And Colin says, I often see lots of pockets in those spots when recreational players dunk shove and really try flop.
And Callan, even if we are thinking about that a player would donk shove pretty much, I think it wasn't even donk shove, it was like a c-bet shove, if I remember it correctly. But in those cases, even with those small stack sizes, I think it's even if he's having any pocket pair, like with pocket nines, we are still going to be ahead of him.
And here we have had just crappy hands we can't do anything with, even though I really would like to. Our stack size is no weapon anymore, so I'm just hanging on a thread and hope to see some good situations.
And it's actually one of the worst situations for a 50-50 there, that there's like 5 stack sizes, and every stack size is a lot larger than yours.
Yeah, so basically when the big blinds come to me, I'm pretty much forced all in if I don't do anything before that. And I'm definitely the smallest one here. So I could call or min raise. And I think I'm going to min raise here. Of course, not folding anything, but it might cover my stack size a bit more. It might even look a stronger hand than I do have. And if I just call, there might be other callers as well, and I don't want to have it in multi-way pot if possible. Now we were flipping, weren't that lucky.
I think also it's really key to be either limping or min raising in that spot, because if 2 players behind you are getting it all in, I'm thinking at those situations having an option to fold is going to be really key.
Well, this was interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that that person had an ace king there. Oh wow. 750. A bit too much to call, and he has to have a pretty strong hand since it's a bubble and there is a really small stack there.
And Kauris is really aggressive today. And I think that we can carry on with the rest of the set. So open as long as you feel comfortable. And
so we don't need to fix the...
I don't think so. I think that if we are having steam trains or choppers, it's just going to be like special effects. Some studios are even paying for those effects.
Yeah, so this is a special evening with special effects.
I think that you could raise up a bit of those like last pots HUD. But yeah.
Hold on a second.
Like
this
the
one.
last pots HUD, right now it sometimes gets in a way of those bets that
There.
So, yeah, I think that's better.
There isn't pretty much anything I can lose. And there have to be a good hand to go all in. Well, I raised that much already. Not sure if that was good in his part anyway. Well, surely it was a solid hand, but...
But he was also being the smallest stack by far on the table. I'm thinking that could you have had more fold equity if you would have just shoved the previous hand? Like it's probably an any two profitable open shove anyway. I'm just thinking that how you are getting more EV.
Good comments. Here, I don't think I'll beat anything anymore. Or at least his range. But now I have a big stack. Some people do tend to shove just everything, but here, even though you can give a lot of pressure for these 4 people, there's a bigger stack here. Of course, it's only like a bit more than half of mine, but anyways, I can't do every single thing I want to. King. Apparently we are not flipping as good as I thought today. But there, I had no other choice, in my opinion, than to call. He was the smallest stack, and there wasn't much to call. Don't really like this. I don't really like this at all.
I was thinking that min raising would probably be quite an interesting option there. Giving you an option to fold if both of those guys would have gotten it in together.
Yeah, I don't know if they would have.
Are you playing there mainly on like thinking that there is someone is going to do something stupid on those 1.5 so you can just fold to the money?
Sure. Isn't that correct?
I was starting to ask that, and then I see Cedric shoving with king deuce there.
Like I told you, well, you told me that my strategy could be good there. So apparently that's exactly that. There's always somebody doing something more stupid than I am. Oh dear.
And now Saduko, like almost guaranteed to get the money, shoves it all in against 2 big stacks.
Why? What's going on there? People, why don't you get punished with that? Like, why?
Now everyone is having a solid stack there, so that's
But me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I should do something completely and utterly bull crap. But yeah, you have seen people can do anything in these games. Oh,
Oh,
whoa.
wow.
Like how many hands in a row can you see something like that? Well, this is a bad one because normally I would do something creative, but I think the other players are being more creative than I am.
Like if there's a possible elimination in 4 hands in a row.
Like I can't just call that. I could have called that and see if there's going to be like huge
I think
action.
that calling is probably going to be the best, and you like hope that people are there's like a 3-way all-in or something.
Yeah, definitely. But if everybody's just going to call, I don't know.
I don't think that everyone would have been apt to call there, but I'm thinking that there would have been an option to. Like Queen 6 suited is going to be way better than an average hand. And I think we have just been spoiled by the quality of the players on that exact bubble, and like they are doing the. And now we have quite a nice hand.
Now we do. But you know what they say about jacks. You can't play them correctly. Okay, I like my hand at the moment. Now, not before. We haven't seen any flop yet. I think there's no reason to raise here, but normally I always hate the flop. Normally, like now, but it's just you can't play correctly with jacks.
I think it's a good option to take it to the flop and not bet pre-flop. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking on the flop that I'm like betting it almost always. I don't think that there is like anyone with or like if there is anyone with better on the flop, then it's going to be like, well played.
There was the king.
And he checked.
He checked that.
Like,
Yeah.
like 3 streets in a row.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Oh,
Impossible hand to play correctly.
once again,
Myth not busted. Like confirmed.
confirmed. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
So I would think that's pretty much the optimal way. Like if someone is having a king or a seven, but I think that trying to get fold equity there would be the. That's pretty much what we want to do when we are just limping with the pocket jacks.
Yeah. If I would have just checked all the way, then I would have lost anyway. I try to win the pot with one bet. Let's see what happens. If not, just get rid of the hand. Well done. But then again, I had option to win a bit more, but the next hand I would have been on a small blind all in. So not big of a difference in that sense that I wouldn't have been in a better shape.
And Kalle and I was already laughing a bit inside here when we had the pocket jacks. If it would be a situation when there would be like 3 players already non all in on the table, like what's going to be the pains of doing the decision with pocket jacks in the situation? And how much would you be trusting that other guys are going to do something insane?
Yeah, maybe that's one spot when you see that you hope that you wouldn't have checked the box that you are not able to fold when you can call. Because sometimes you just see open folding people when they are just able to check.
Oh, you would want to have the maybe button there.
Oh yeah, that would have been nice, the maybe button. I can get my money back if I just want to not play that in the middle of hand anymore. And now everybody's just confused what you're talking about. Um, oh well, how to explain this? We had a meeting last year and we had quite fun there. There was one of our members, a Finnish guy, and he started to explain poker to one of our girl visitors. Well, she was a girlfriend of our member. She didn't know anything about poker, and then in the middle of the night, when everybody were just completely and utterly wasted, she said that, okay, come on, we are here on a poker meeting. Someone teach me how to play poker. And you might guess it's not really a good idea. Actually, we had fun, yeah, sure, but if that was the first and only way to get introduction to poker, you probably never want to see the poker games ever again. There were some new options introduced to everybody, and that included the maybe word that should be possible during the game. That there is a fold, call, bet, and maybe buttons. And the maybe button was something like, yeah, you can press the maybe, like you maybe put your chips in, you maybe put your money in, but if you hate the flop, you can get your money back. It was just so weird. Like everybody were just laughing their asses off there, and I was filming it. I got a small video, so you can find it in Finnish, unfortunately only, on our Finnish forum. If someone is fast enough, maybe you can find it for our Finnish members or everybody. You can watch it. It's a bit confusing, but it was plenty fun.
And Calleon says that maybe button should return half of your pre-flop investment if you don't like the flop.
So that's like the improvement of maybe button. Yeah, Kalle was actually really trying to help the girl out and explaining the real rules. After that maybe button explanation. So kudos for Kaleon for that. I don't know if she remembers the interaction anymore, but it was once in a lifetime experience for everyone involved, I would say. I was willing to call one bet, but not anymore. There isn't Antes on a play here on the bottom left, but still I prefer to shove. There is a good spot. I think that's enough. Good enough spot. I just
And
need
good enough hand.
and I can always win. Like, I have been running so freaking bad in my normal games, and then I play some low level 50-50s and I just crash the big cards. Like, what's going on here? Maybe I should continue with the spins and win the million there next. Oh dear.
Or perhaps 50-50s are wanting to have you back.
Yeah, they are trying to lure me in. Actually, it might be working.
Like you're having fun here.
Yeah, actually I am. Someone said that I should enjoy this, and so far I'm not pressing the panic button. Surprisingly enough. My coffee is cold, but my voice is still okayish, at least. Oh dear. Yeah, Kyypäri soaked hamburgers. They were legendary. We were grilling hamburgers. Kyypäri is our master of grilling. He made delicious burgers, absolutely fabulous with bacon and shit. It was so good, and we had those like pretty early in the evening, something around, I don't know, 10-11 o'clock. And there was one saved for someone, or someone got his and was too tired, too full, or went to sauna or something, and he didn't eat it right away. He went to sauna, went swimming, drank some more, and something around, I don't know, 3-4 a.m. came from sauna from somewhere. Yeah, the guys were having fun there for like all night long. I don't want to hear no more. And he came quite wasted, probably with no swimming pants whatsoever. Just picked up the hamburger. It had been raining, and the hamburger had been outside on like a terrace table or something, and it was soaking wet, and he just put it on and probably he microwaved it a little bit, not sure even about that, or maybe he ate it with a cold. Anyway, probably he doesn't even remember it anymore himself, but it was just like dropping wet. It didn't look that delicious anymore, but he said it tasted good, and we were laughing. So it was something. And if a Finnish guy asks you to go to a sauna with him, prepare to be there for a few hours. There were actually at one point during that night when I got a bit confused and worried that some guys had been in sauna for like 3-4 straight hours, if they are still alive or had they passed out there. But no, they were just chatting and having fun and drinking some beers and disturbing neighbors. Oh well. Yeah, I think he dropped that to the floor as well. Yeah, for sure. Because before that, I think he microwaved some meatballs, then remembered the hamburger, went back for it, and then ate the meatballs later on or something.
Heating everything cold is my
Yeah.
strategy.
Yeah.
But it's, in a way, like in 50-50s, when there are 10 players to a table, it might be that you can tell like 3 stories and there is like nothing interesting happening on the tables.
True.
Sometimes these are really slow and you don't have anything memorable happening.
And maybe I should come back and play these. But actually, that's a good point. There's nothing happening. I've been just pressing buttons mindlessly, and I hope I haven't done any stupid things. But I think there hasn't been that many spots to really go through that deeply. And in a way, it was one of the reasons why we wanted to try this, since we have had quite a few coachings for sit and goes, PLO, cash games, MTTs, heads ups, and so on. And it has been quite solid strategy contained material. And now, since it's quite hard to compare myself and my skills to the sit and go masters we have, if this had been suited, I would have shoved here, but
I'm thinking actually that min raising is almost always better than a shove there.
Yeah. Just waiting for a bit better hand, hoping to get jacks on the big blind. Get screwed.
You got half of them.
Yay me! So this is hopefully something a bit more relaxed when I'm here controlling the buttons. Half. Almost. Oh well. So let's see how you like this. If you do, if you don't. If it's too boring or not sharp enough, or should it be even more relaxed, or what's the direction we should go, please give us some feedback, input, any ideas whatsoever, and we'll see what will happen next.
But as I said, I don't feel needed at all here, so I'm like just chilling out here, pretty relaxed. Like it can't be more relaxed session for me.
You must really like it.
If I don't fall asleep. I thought there's like a famous Chinese soccer reporter that fell asleep and snored all the way during a Masters League game or something, Champions League game, and got fired. Like I'm worried if I start snoozing here, that what will happen to me?
If you want to know what will happen to you if you start snoring, go ahead. I will show you. I have some cold coffee here. I don't want to drink anymore. Kalyan had ugly ending for his MTTs yesterday. Oh, that's bad. I'm trying to get rid of this guy here. I could just call, but I hope he will fold so we can get a heads up pot here. And actually I just want to put him all in here. See what's happening. Haha, he folds. Happy times.
Do you want to see what's happening, or do you just want to get the pot for yourself?
Why wouldn't I want to get the pot for myself?
I think that you are like a bit shy there. I don't want to steal this pot from my dear friends on the table. Like, I'm going to just see what would happen if I would put in like a friendly bet or a friendly wager here.
Yeah, but I want to have chips. I can't really fold this, but I probably am going to lose it anyway. But anyway, it's just 100 compared to the main pot, and there's a side pot as well. Yeah, for a bigger bet I wouldn't have called, but for that amount of money or chips, can't make myself fold.
And Kauris84 says, I don't think that you can even get a marriage license with these games. So like, even if you would run really hot, you won't get the marriage license money with 1.5 and $3.5 50/50s.
Do you know how much marriage license costs?
I don't know it.
Actually, they're not.
But I'm betting that it's going to be more than you can win on these games if you're four tabling these for a couple of hours.
Are you sure you are wanting to bet that? You can find yourself screwed after this set. Oh dear. If that's something you never should do, if there's a couple who's both play poker and you said something about betting about marriage license, you could find yourself in a position you don't like to be. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, I have similar tactics with drinks. Bring it to the table for coaching. No, this is after the coaching ends. Yeah, we had some drinks with my game. It was lots of fun. Maybe we'll do it someday again.
Actually, do you prefer, while you are playing on a live stream, do you prefer to play sober or drunk?
Is this a trick question?
I think that with my game you tried the other option.
Yeah, that was completely different. I had a long drink, actually quite a few of those, and some bottles for shots. Actually, now that when the games are going quite okay, this is fun, but I bet that if I would be losing everything, it would be more cheerful to be drunk while at it, you know? But probably that's not very sustainable situation. No, there is a interesting situation. It's a bubble. We have a good stack, there's a good stack, awesome amount of raise, but still I can't give myself. I can't just fold this. If there's aces, well played, but
There's never aces when he opens for 5x.
no, there shouldn't be.
And I think that there should be like one option that you should be thinking would be to flat call it and try to get more money on the pot.
Yeah.
Like there isn't anything that you would be afraid of.
If this was a bit smaller stack, I would just shove. And now with jacks, I hate my life. No, I could raise, but then it would be so much of my stack that I just prefer to shove here, since there's already one limper. There needs to be a really strong hand here, and my king 3 off is paper against it.
I'm thinking actually with king 3 off, I would probably prefer the prefer the shove to get the most fold equity I can. And in a way, I agree with you that Lenska, when he doesn't have any fold equity, that his range should be quite tight. But it was like surprise fold equity because you only require like 35% ish there with all the ICM concerns.
Yeah, well, this is way much closer.
I don't think so. Even if you know that you are dominated, like even when he has ace king suited, you are still having enough equity to call it.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Did I say?
You said that now it's a lot more closer, but I think that we...
No, it's closer to call, not closer to fold. Actually, now I'm confusing myself.
But I'm thinking that when it's like when you are having only 1/3 of, you can see that there's 1/3 of the pot to call. I'm thinking that usually you pretty much need to call it with anything that you are opening.
Oh, okay. So in that sense, the king 3 off would have been first call.
With the king 3 off, it's like half the pot that your opponent 3-bets. So when it's half a pot, then you require 33% if you don't calculate ICM in.
If this wouldn't be a bubble, I would have shoved, but there's already 2 players in. Hate my life. Now the hard ones are coming.
I actually think that because you are having the Antonio player calling here, I think that would have been a better spot to shove, because then Igor can't just look at your stack, but he would also need to be afraid of Antonio's stack if you shove there. So you would have way more fold equity against Igor, and Antonio shouldn't have a really solid hand.
Well, that's true, but...
And like this bottom left table has been horrible. You had something like close to 7,000 chips there. And now you are like all in on the antes.
Like, guys, do not do this. This is the wrong way.
And on the bubble, from 6,500 chips to 0 in.
Yeah. When something goes wrong, it goes terribly wrong.
And Detrosit on Twitch chat, like nice bubbly atmosphere.
How have fun while playing? 50-50s, yeah, incredibly fun. You can hear me laughing out loud. Oh, Danita needs to go. Thanks for following and watching us have fun babysitting. Yeah, I think I used all my luck within the first hour of the game. Oh well. It might be really interesting to see the stats later on. So Ben Van Litar, you're now welcoming me to these games. Like, this is how you screw yourself up in 3-4 hands.
But I think it's like, it's how a socialist would play 50-50, is like having a big stack, starting to feel bad, and then distributing it to every single other player on the bubble for the next 5 hands. Like, you can't even write that storyline up. Like, every player doubled up through you.
I just want to keep on sharing. Like, that's one reason you should play against me.
But it's insane. Completely insane.
Yeah. There's another spot. 730 to call. The pot is 1.6. Yeah, I'll get the odds. There's probably a good option that there's going to be a better ace, but
if you don't know that you're always going to be dominating, I think that you need to call. Like if he's having something like king 10 suited, king jack off types of hands in the range, then it will come wildly profitable for you.
And yeah, 2 small stacks. Who's losing and what? I hate my life. Why don't... Oh, I didn't have a time bank. Crap. I didn't notice that.
I think that it's going to be like, I think that it's still a right choice. Like 9-3 suited, when you are having a really tight player, having the shortest stack here, I think that it's going to be okay to fold there. But on the other side, when you don't risk practically anything, like you are risking pretty much elimination if you are fighting against the SMC kill.
I think Kaleon has a pretty valid point. I shouldn't be trying to abuse the bubble so aggressively in these games since no one cares.
I don't actually even think that you abused the bubble that much, and I don't even think that you got called with hands that you shouldn't get called that often. So I don't actually think that there wasn't much to do. It's just pretty much like written to the stars on this doesn't end well.
I don't want to get involved with the hand here since there might be some aggressive players to get rid of mine.
I'm thinking that I would be probably shoving the 8-7 suited, because then when there's the shortest stack already all in, I'm pretty much guaranteed that I'm going to finish up in the money anyways. Because then the shortest stack would need to win me and the other guy if there's another guy coming on the pot. And if there's no other guy coming in the pot, you are going to have huge amount of dead money in the pot.
Yeah, I'm showing you exactly how to or how not to use your stack in the bubble.
But we are doing a lot better on your computer wise. It's not overheating and it has done all its job pretty well today.
That's correct. It was more nasty situation last time when I was doing the shared stream with my game. I think my computer didn't really like that as much as I did. So it's quite alright now. Like those small pets, even though I have only ace high, seriously, if there's somebody betting that small, it's just a crime not to call. That could have been a call as well, but
I think it's also, oh, it's a three-way pot.
Yeah, it is a three-way pot.
If it wouldn't have been a three-way pot, I probably wouldn't be able to drop it.
Then it makes
because
a difference.
there are going to be so many nice turns for you, like with the backdoor flush draw and everything.
Like backdoor flush draw. That's something that shouldn't be counted as a good choice.
Backdoor flush draw is a lot better than a backdoor gut shot.
That's a swear word, actually. It's something that never happens, no matter what the other people say. So my computer's doing fine. I'm doing quite okay. You're having fun when you are not stressing about playing yourself.
Or anything really.
You're not stressing about watching me playing.
No.
That's good. It's a plus for sure.
I think you have done good today. Especially since I don't think that you have played any 50-50s in a year or something.
Yeah.
I don't think that there are any huge mistakes.
Probably not in a year or more. But if there are any new members, watchers, listeners on our YouTube chat, not YouTube, Twitch chat, please say hi. I want to hear you. I want to see you. I want to know if there are some new listeners. And please register to our site www.pokerimania.com/forum. Then you'll get to the English side of the things. Probably you won't understand much if you are not a Finn going to our Finnish side. But feel free to try.
And Petrusitol is trying to get some new terms to the poker world. It's silly that no one says front door flush or front door straight.
Yeah, silly.
Or we could even get a new term like doorbell straight or doorbell flush. When people are just with their betting, they are signaling that they can't have anything else than a flush or than anything else than a straight there.
Like, I hit my set, but then there's a 9 coming. Well, there shouldn't be a 6, but what can I do? Bet.
You're always having at least 10 outs. And probably you are having something like 10 outs to, even if someone has a 6, you are still having pretty much 10 outs to a full house and then 3 outs to redraw.
Redraw. I hate all the draws they exist. Well, I have my outs. I have a set. There could be a 6. There could be better set, but can't bear myself folding there. 6-5 off. Well, it's a hand, but didn't quite see that for sure.
Solid pre-flop call from small blind to a 3-way pot.
Yeah.
Should you call flop with all those billion outs in upper left AT? I have already forgotten about that hand.
Upper left AT. This one?
Billion outs is probably not the term I would use.
I didn't like my outs that much. Sure, the outcome was okay, but
there would be like backdoor flush, and we have already heard about the opinion about the backdoor flushes.
I don't really appreciate those, to be quite honest.
Backdoor flush and a gut shot, so it's not a swear word.
Can't really call. Is this the spot then when I shouldn't abuse the button that wide? hoping to hit something good.
I
but
don't think
again,
that's even like. It's a sick table in a way because there are so many tight players and then there is like one completely insane player. And because of that one completely insane player, I think that you should probably be less or more cautious in.
but 7 deuce off is a good hand to play. Right? Yeah, I should be
Well,
low.
you can win with the 7 deuce off.
I could, but I don't want to see me winning. Unfortunately, I have to fold here.
So it's like the only reason to fold deuce 7 that I just don't want to see me winning today.
Yes, I want to share the love and my chips. Yeah, perhaps my explanations are not the top of the notch today.
And Callan said that I would check 7-7 in upper right in turn. Like that would be, I think also that would be a good option. And probably going to be the best option since I don't think that we should be that afraid. And then there will be other guys that are going to, like I think players are going to give you more value.
Yeah, found aces on the big blind again. I'm so good at finding those. But yeah, good point from Galleon. I haven't even thought that how long I should continue opening the games. At least they are opening pretty fast.
I think that one of the main points on 50-50 is like when you are seeing the regs, at least on the higher levels, it's pretty rare to see a reg doing money pre-rake back and right now with the PokerStars changes, I think that 50-50s are going to be one game that is going to be hit quite hard with all the changes. What do you think?
Probably so, because 50-50s are quite reg infested. So you might be correct because you need to find your good spots there.
But I think that those should still be interesting, but it would require less rake. Like if there would be 2% less rake, I would probably be all over those, even with less rake back.
Well, that should be the next step for PokerStars to lower the rake since they want to give better games for everyone instead of giving just some Chrome Stars extra 30 cents per month and getting rid of all the Supernova Elite nice extras. Well, not all, but at least half of them. So it's not really fair. There's actually good conversation going on about the new coming PokerStars VIP Club changes on a general conversation area, and there is some nice links for YouTube videos and etc. So feel free to read those if you haven't heard what's going on. The new changes will be valid since 1st of January and the next year, so in less than 2 months. And the Supernova Elite will be removed completely the year after that. And there are some significant changes that you should definitely be aware of if you are playing lots of poker on PokerStars, because it might affect your games somewhat. And more lattes for Chrome players. Yeah, good for you guys.
Only one latte per year, so they don't want the Chrome Stars to get carried away with their...
Yeah, or plain intoxicated with caffeine. Could have called there, but yeah, I was wondering about the pair of fours. Good for fold actually. Good limp, but did he want to raise? Did he want to quite shove? Shove would have been probably plus EV, but a bit too much in my opinion. It was probably the weakest game plan after limping, but did he want to raise the pot too much? Did he want to just shove everything pre-flop? I don't know. What do you think about it?
I'm thinking about that it's probably going to be on the edge of profitability. Like it's on the edge of the set mining profitability around, I think. NXP Ninja says that did you get an answer back on Twitter from the pros?
Not a single answer from any of them. Yeah, I've been asking some polite questions on Twitter. Please follow us there too. And thanks for the retweets and likes and favorites whatsoever. It's good to have those because they help us to spread the word of our missions and coachings and whatnot. I asked that what's going on there, are the changes really coming? No, any good or any actually answer from any of the guys or now I lost the word, or anyone. And then I was kinda pushing the buttons and going for a bit further away, since I'm so frustrated that none of the pro players haven't commented anyhow, or they haven't said anything, and they have no backbone at all in that matter. Of course they get money from PokerStars and they probably have some limitations, but since everything has been happening so shadily, and that's not the first case, and to be quite honest, we don't have any strings tied to PokerStars like everybody else. That was something I wanted to ask, but no response.
Callion said that you cannot set my limp with that shallow stack. We are having Antes in play. There's like 1,345 chips we have and 40-80 blinds. There's already one limp before us. So if we are having something like 17 big blinds, I think that we can still limp profitably. Or like it's going to be on the edge. It's going to be way on the edge, and without the previous limper, I don't think that it's going to be. And in a way, it's going to be pretty sketchy when there are also 3 or 4 players behind you to be shoving. Like it's probably best to open fold. Like if we are shoving 17 big blinds, it's also going to be quite nasty spot.
And it kind of screams that I have a small pocket pair if I do that. So the medium pairs can call even though they wouldn't be involved otherwise, I think.
In these low stakes 50-50s, I wouldn't care about screaming. Like if nobody's listening, what's the...
Yeah, point.
I think that if the rumors are true what PokerStars is playing Daniel Negreanu, it's probably going to be quite close to the cuts that Supernova Elites are getting. So,
like all the cuts that Supernova Elites are getting are smaller than the 1-year paycheck for Negreanu. Is that what you're saying?
I'm thinking that it's going to be like, I think that it's going to be at around the same level or something like that. Like there's only, I think, 270 Supernova Elites or something. And I don't think that the average Supernova Elite is going to do more than 1 point some million.
And then when you think about the money they have given, like Neymar or Ronaldo or those sports big stars, they don't move a finger with few bucks. I think they have gotten a huge paycheck out of PokerStars, so it's not only about the money, it's something else as well. And the way they reported that, like Callion said, kind of accidentally got leaked out and then they had to make it official. If they wouldn't have leaked that out, probably somebody just screwed it up on the Russian side. They probably wouldn't have revealed that for some time. Probably maybe a day before it happened. Who knows?
But I would be like completely okay with it if it would have been that it would be reported on November that they would be carrying on the VIP club for the next year, especially since Supernova and Supernova Elite are always going to be 2-year stuff. And then it's going to be like on 2017 they would be switching it up, and there would be like one year in advance. Like then you wouldn't go for Supernova because then you would know, or if you wouldn't care about the next year, then you shouldn't have any. But I agree with Kalle on that. It's not nice doing it for. I think there's something like 3,000 or 3,500 supernovas and supernova elites. So it's not a big club of people, all in all. And those are going to be pretty much the only ones screwed for the next year. And right now, like continuing supernova is worth pretty much absolutely nothing, because I think that you are going to get the same exact rakeback percentage next year if you are getting the supernova for the first time or if you are carrying on being a supernova. Like only difference would be that the monthly rewards, like if you are in the middle of 2 reward slots, then you wouldn't get as much.
And I think they probably still advertise that on their web pages. That
when you are continuing as a supernova, you are going to get more. Yeah.
And it's just too shady in my opinion. You should have a backbone. You are like the biggest player on that field, like being a PokerStars, and then you just kill your goose that gives you golden eggs. Like, are you guys stupid? Like, what's going on there? And it's probably a bull crap that they are saying that okay, this affects only a 2% of the players. If they are counting all the players who have ever made an account to a PokerStars and haven't played for 10 years, I bet there's so many of those. Hey, this again. And that 2% that they are referring to, they are probably making, I wouldn't even know what to guess, but a huge amount of rake and produced.
NXP Ninja, like giving millions in spin and goes away and keeping up their promises at the same time. Like, I think the problem with the promos with the spin and goes is that you are playing more and you are getting more variance. Like PokerStars is not giving out millions. Like every time when we are seeing a million drop in the $5 spin and goes, you are like completely forgetting that there's like one extra percentage of rake, and there is always 3.3 million of those games running, so there are like 10 million rakes paid, and 1% more on the $5, and you can get like when there's 3 players per game and 1% more rake, so there are like 10 million rakes paid, and 1% of rake is 5 cents, so it's like 10 millions times 5 cents. So when you are starting to calculate it, like every million they are giving away, they are making 500,000 for themselves more. So it's not a promo that they are like giving out millions. Like every time you can see that PokerStars has dropped a million out of the 50 cent or $5 spin and goes, you should always think that they are making that they are going to be making 500,000 more money for every million that they're dropping. So it's a bit like you are like filling up your car in a gas station. Would you go to a gas station where you would like pay 5 cents more for a liter of gas, and then there's just going to be every time that you are choosing to tank there, you could either get 20 liters more or 20 liters less than what you paid for, and the minimum would be 20 liters. So it wouldn't be the gas station wouldn't be giving out extra gas. They would be charging more for the gas, and it's not really a promotion. Like it's not costing them anything. It's going to be the opposite. They are going to get money.
Yeah, PokerStars is not a charity. Like if you put it in a short way.
Yeah, but that's just like one of the common misconceptions that I have seen in multiple places, that PokerStars is giving millions away in those spin and goes. And like I'm mathematically oriented guy, and it just it hurts my head a bit every time.
I would like to call, but it's on the edge. I'm not quite sure if I should, though. I'm not sure about that.
That's probably a good place to mark the hand.
Yeah.
And Calleon says that it's pretty much impossible to see the avalanche of changes right now. That it's going to be that regs are going to be changing formats. They are going to move from format to format. They are going to. I think that there will be games that are going to be dying, and there are going to be games that are going to be way tougher. So
Overall, I don't think that anything good will happen out of that, in my humble opinion. But that's again one thing we'll see only later on. It can happen in 2 months or half a year or a year, who knows. But
like I think the only way to make it really a plus EV promotion for all, if they are using close to an equal sum of money to advertise more or like give out better promotions, as PokerStars promotions have been pretty much the additional promotions outside the VIP club have been pretty much worst in the industry. After they acquired Full Tilt Poker and there was no competition anymore. Like when there was a competition that there was Full Tilt Poker and PokerStars that were competing, then there were a lot of reload bonuses like 4 times a year, and there were a lot of value up for grabs. But after there is like no competition, I think after that
there's no need for it. When they are the biggest, nobody's really threatening their situation and their position. Why to give out anything more if you don't have to? Which is quite a shame. Yeah, and it's kind of weird spot when there are so many people saying that okay, now all the other sites pull your shit together and make a better site and improve your game and get better promotions. But since the lead is so huge, they would need to do so much to be able to beat the, for example, multi-tabling situation in Stars. I don't know if they are willing to do that or if they can do that, because it requires job. Of course, it's possible. Well, it shouldn't be impossible, no way, because it has been done. It's not like it's freaking rocket science. But if they don't see the situation, if they do nothing about it, it's just weird. They should have the money to put into hire the best coders to do better clients and freaking own the world.
And yes, Callan said that if they do decrease rake decently, then rake back drop might not be such a huge deal. Like if rake would be dropped that you could get like equal amount of, or like you would get raked equally in sit and goes, I would think that it would make the quality of games better, and it would make probably every sit and go player feel better, as money won from games is a lot better. And also it would probably make PokerStars play less taxes to some of the markets, as some of the markets like the United Kingdom market is, at least I think it's taxing the revenue. So when they are getting players that are going to get huge rake back, then they are having a problem in being profitable themselves. So I think that's also something to think about, that there might be an option. But I'm a bit skeptical with it, and also I'm a bit skeptical with, like, if everything carries on like it does right now, I'm thinking that probably the extra value through promotions is something that I'm quite skeptical about. And long ago said that previous Stars management created a VIP program that cemented that volume players stayed at PokerStars. Yeah, since you would have to spend decent amount of your time anyway on PokerStars. And I think, like, if you are going to find any silver lining on these new changes, the silver lining would be that right now it doesn't matter if you are faithful to PokerStars or not. You are pretty much, if you are on PokerStars, if you are doing Platinum Star on 1 month, then you are going to play 5 or 6 months at our sites, then come back and do a Platinum Star again. You are going to get pretty much the equal amount of rake back. And also it doesn't matter that if you are holding Supernova at the start of the year, previously it has been all, if you are doing like 100,000 VPPs, it has been almost like 10% extra rake back per year. And like right now, it doesn't matter. Like if you are starting a year as Supernova and you do 100,000 VPPs, it's going to be exactly the same than if you are going to do 100,000 VPPs.
Ben Valley asking about the rake rating possibility. Is it realistic? I don't think so. I don't know about the others, but I don't really think so that it's realistic. Even though it should be wise or good choice or whatnot, but after seeing how everything has happened since Amaya came along, don't really see that happening.
And we were having such a bubbly and nice session previously, and now we are ranting about PokerStars.
Yeah. Okay, maybe from now on I'm not registering into any more games.
So then there is going to be more time to rant.
Yeah, ranting is fun. Well, actually we have been playing a bit over 2 hours already.
Has it been horrible?
It hasn't been as horrible as I thought it would be, or could be, or should be.
I think there is actually a good point to take one more game right now. Like there are games are just beginning, so like if there are like one game more that's starting right now. And Ben Van Lit says that like they have only talked about bad things that are going to happen. So like every good thing would be wishful thinking at the moment.
Yeah, well, we haven't even gotten ourselves to that topic of removing HUDs and
I think that that's also something that they did on purpose. So it's like someone like Daniel Negreanu has been on public. He hasn't been talking anything about the rate changes, which are like it's going to be the key thing. I don't care about the HUDs. I'm going to be profitable in the games, even if there wouldn't be any HUDs available. The HUDs are not going to be the big thing. It's going to be that then you need to learn a bit of a different skills and then you will need to adjust. But like when they have announced both of those together, they have mixed up the waters in a way that like people are talking like someone is talking on this topic, someone is talking on this topic, and like the conversation is getting all muddied and mixed up. So I think that's something that they are doing with a purpose. Like Daniel Negreanu is doing it on purpose to just muddy up the waters and get the discussion to some other topic. Like he's only talking about how banning the third party software is going to make the games better and it's going to make the games more fair, and not talking about the VIP changes, even though that would be the way bigger deal.
Well, if you think about it in this way, you are a company and you are making huge changes that affect the people who are really vocal about saying their opinions about those, because it's going to make a huge difference. If there's going to be a buttload of crap coming and there's going to be really, really, really bad news, if there is going to be good news to balance it, wouldn't this be the right time to say it, like as soon as possible? And if this is not the right time, when is it? Like just thinking with your simple logic. That's how I see it.
And Nick Gibbon is a funny, games are getting harder and sites are taking more and more rake. I think those are two things that are interconnected. And how far can it go this way? I think something like microgaming has done right now, that they have decreased their rake caps and they are making more and more games being beatable pre-rake is going to be great. And I highly suggest you take a look on our site on 24H Poker. The deal is going to be quite great. You are like next year, from our stats, like people are getting a bit more than half of what they are raking, they are getting back in VIP rewards and stuff like that. So you are like getting more rewards and you are getting raked less if you are playing cash games on microgaming. So I think if people are using what's inside their head, microgaming should be one site that should stand to gain a lot on that.
Yeah.
But like it's also, I think that's like a politician strategy. Like you are going to tie in two different papers together. Like if you are going to have need to do something, you are going to tie up two things together and try to muddy up the water. Like I think that the United States, the poker legislation, or the UIGEA legislation, I think that it was just tacked onto some other paper that was like protecting the children. and like that was a paper that like no congressman could pretty much like could oppose, because it would just look so bad in the political sense. And then there was like the small thing that was stacked on top of that, and they were like taking a vote on both of these things at the same time.
Teasing bet. Yeah, good points.
But Long Ago says that making entry easier for big mass, I haven't seen them do that pretty much at all. And connecting poker players to other forms of gambling, that's something that hasn't been that good for poker players. On the other hand, poker players have benefited from there being gamblers that are like registering to a sports betting site and that also offers poker. So poker has benefited in a way that those guys that are gambling in some other way are also being introduced to poker on other sites. But on PokerStars it has been only negative for poker, since they were running without a casino and without sports betting for so long.
Actually, since this is such a small, let's clear the waters.
I'm thinking that against this type of a player, probably flat calling would be better and trying to get someone else with a weaker range. And Long Ago, spin and goes are perfect tools for it. Yeah, I think that spin and goes with decent marketing could be good for poker, even though they are going to take some money out of the poker economy. But I think that there's going to be a profitability.
So if you like us, like what our coachings, what we are doing, visit our forum. We have awesome deals for microgaming. Please register through us and you'll support us and you'll get the awesome feedback. Great back. We'll get feedback from you because you're helping us. Quick commercial break. But seriously, we have also other tools there to look at if you are thinking about that area as well.
And Nikki Penisofani says that I loved the old days when it was possible to get 100% plus rake back. I'm thinking that like 100% plus rake back is going to be a bad deal for probably everyone involved. But I think with some promotions it's still going to be possible if you are like grinding like a monkey. Like usually when you are getting 100% or more rake back, I have done stuff like that, but usually it comes with an attached monkey grind clause that makes you that you'll need to play like 80 hours a week to win a rake race or win 2 different rake races or something like that. But I don't think that like usually it would be good if both the players and the sites would be, and I would prefer actually something that there wouldn't be like big rewards. I don't think that the big percentage rewards are good for anyone involved. I would like to have the rake to be as low so more and more players could feel like winning, and there would be, I would rather have a site with low rake than a site with a good VIP percentage. And NXP Ninja, they pushed it through for national security or something like that after 9/11. I think the Yuichia had something for kids, like protecting kids online or something like that, that was tacked into.
And then if you are opposing it, you are always
on the side of the pedophiles.
Yeah. So that's why they should be like more clear that there's one, what's the name in US for it's not poll, it's like
Bullshit.
bullshit, yeah.
But I think we have had quite a good example in the Finnish politics just about now, that they are like tacking two different bills together and they are creating a huge mess, and everybody's talking about the other thing or the other thing, and they are muddying the waters, and they are trying to pass through something that's not popular for anyone else because they're also passing up something else. So.
And it's sometimes really hard to get hold on to that, what the changes really are. What do they mean? Because then all the news are just trying to create the pieces from the that's on the edge. Like that's actually the hand that would be on my edge. They are trying to create pieces of headlines that will pull a lot of readers, like how the main persons are fighting to each other and whatnot, because that's something that will draw clicks from internet.
And Callan says that also that no rake back from high stake cash games are pretty weird. I think there was something like cost of monitoring the games. If you are thinking about high stakes cash, or even starting from the lowest of the high stakes, like I think that's something like 10-20, so like NL 2000. I think at that level people are playing something like 0.5% or 0.5 big blinds per 100 hands. Like in cash games, the rake cap comes so quickly. Like in sit and goes, the rake is always increasing and the rake is getting to completely sickening levels. Like if there would be a rake cap of like $3, I think that high stakes sit and goes would be running a lot more. But like there is no rake, and there are some sit and goes that are getting raked for something like, I think the highest rake in sit and goes is something like $70 or something. So it's like, I think it's a difference. Like the high stakes cash game, I don't think that it matters that much. Like compared to the size of the game, like I think all the high stakes cash game players that are making Supernova Elites, they are players that are also playing heads up sit and goes at high stakes, or almost all of those guys. Like Isildur 1 did do it that way. I think most of the guys that are making it with heads up sit and goes, because of the rake size in the high stakes cash game is going to be so low. Two final games.
Probably one really soon, because I'm all in here as well.
How do you feel?
Okay. Ish. How should I feel?
Great, of course.
Do
you think that you have won money during this session?
Actually, I think I have, but I'm not 100% sure, since some of the biggest stacks I've gotten are from the 350 games. But
so you think that you haven't won buy-ins, but you have won money?
I didn't say that. Are you putting words in my mouth? I said I probably.
I'm trying to muddy up the waters.
Don't stop listening to PokerStars example. I think I've probably made money, but I wouldn't bet my money on that assumption. So in that sense, yeah, if I would have lost all the games, probably it's showing somehow, but we'll see. I don't know. Should I show you? Maybe I shouldn't show you my statistics afterwards. There's that one question from Ben Van Lint from that A6 hand. I'm not 100% about it, but since I was such a small stack, I think it was okay. But I don't see me calling or raising with it, so only other option would have been folding. But there was that one hand, at least we marked, and I will get punished because of it, I'm afraid. And Callan is asking, are there sources that follow player amounts in different sites? I think there are. At least I've seen some stats, but I don't know where they're from exactly.
I think Poker Scout is going to be the biggest one, where you can find the state of the games at the moment. They are calculating only cash game players, but I think that it's going to be at least quite close to what they are also. Or I think if you are comparing different players, I think that if you are comparing the amounts, I think that there will be sites that are going to be quite close with cash and tournament players. You could probably increase the size of the final table. Like, it's not a final table, but it's our final table for today.
Ooh, it's a huge.
And Nikkipen is so funny. I thought about that as well, and then I thought about it a bit more. And one problem will be, even for the best regs, that I first thought that it probably doesn't affect me that much. Like, right now I'm getting something close to 40%. So I'm getting like a 10% drop in rake back. But then I thought that I'm doing better ROIs than, like, my EV ROI is going to be quite good compared to other players, so I'm not probably going to get that screwed. But then I started to think, like, what kind of avalanche of changes there will be, and if there are going to be like the better players at higher up, or the medium strength regs at higher up that are going to be like top regs at the lower stakes games, when they are going to come down, it's going to also make the games harder. So I'm unsure what's going to happen. I'm quite sure that most of the professional players are either needing to change their game, or then be satisfied for making less.
It's going to be a tough decision, for sure. Since it's hard to say for sure what's going to happen, and you can only get some kind of guesses until you actually see what's going on. And if there are like good recs from higher up games coming to lower games because of the changes, it doesn't matter if the okay recs are trying to find something else to do with their lives if only worse opponents are coming to your games. Increase the final table.
The dot is not moving.
Try harder. Oh. Maybe that's something that you could do also, like in addition to that, maybe button. If you're in the final table of big tournament, you can just increase the buying and you will automatically get more money from the prize pool.
But I think that there is like some games, like MTT players are probably not going to see much change with this. If there are not going to be players from like OK regs, from the hypers, I think they are going to crush MTTs. Like, with pretty little. It's going to just be the switch from like games that you can open up a session anytime. And I think that those guys, if they are going to MTTs, it's going to be a big change when it's going to be like 8 to 10 hour sessions. So, but I think, like, money wise, I'm thinking that probably MTT players are going to see pretty much no monetary change if the games are not getting a lot tougher. But something like 50-50s, hyper sit and goes, all high stakes sit and goes, pretty much all the games where rake is high compared to the edge you can get. Also, I think low to medium stakes cash games are also, like smaller than NL 100, I think is going to be something that's going to be hit with changes. When I'm thinking about the changes, I'm thinking about, should I think about MTTs? Should I think about cash games? Should I think about heads up sit and goes? Like pretty much when I'm thinking about what games would I want to do later on, I'm thinking about moving to games that I can play easily on other sites than PokerStars. And then it's going to be either heads up sit and goes, cash games, or MTTs.
So basically you're saying that your most likely option is to disappear from PokerStars.
I don't say it completely, but I'm saying that it's going to be really hard to trust that they are doing the right things, and it's going to be really hard to trust also that they would be.
I hear you.
Like, it's going to be in a way that, like, being a poker pro is all about adapting to situations. And like right now, it's going to be like I have adapted to where I'm going to get the best hourly. Where I'm going to get the best hourly compared to the effort, like what kind of sessions can I run, what kind of variance there will be, etc.
Last flip and I lost it. Sorry, Kauris. No more last wins. Okay. Oh dear.
Shall we just end the show today?
We can end the show. I think the games are over. We had, a bit over 2.5 hours of girl fun, and Arni commenting on my play. Should we see the one hand?
I'm thinking that it's going to be like, we have already been here for 2 hours and 40 minutes,
Yeah.
so I think that
I can post it on a forum
later on.
Yeah, so we can just wrap this up for tonight. Thank you for following. Nice to see you, hear you, read messages from you. Thanks for chatting. And send some feedback on the forum. How did you like it, and was it okay, or is there some changes that could improve the coaching in a way that happened today? Have a good night on my part.
Bye!
See you in the forums.